First Wrestling Views, you guys, back again with another video. So, of course, we got Saturday night's main event. This Saturday, you guys, 8 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock probably some of you guys' time, depending on where you live. Of course, Seth Rollins versus LA Knight, you guys. Definitely going to be a pretty good match. But we kicked off this show last night, you guys, with Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, and Bronson Reed, of course. So they came out there, with the, quickly didn't expect it. Bron Breakker ended up getting the microphone. He was thinking of what he wanted to say, and there had been a report earlier that day that Bron Breakker is going to portray Seth Rollins. Now, with that being said, you guys, you can see how Paul Heyman was very nervous of what Bron Breakker was about to say, and Bron Breakker seemed like he wants everything for himself, and that, he doesn't want to be with Seth Rollins. And, of course, you can see Paul Heyman is still worried as Bron Breakker goes on, to speak about what he was what he's going to do to Sami Zayn in his match tonight. And, you can see Seth Rollins like, this is very frustrating here. But you guys, they are being planted. I did a video on this yesterday, actually, before Raw. Make sure you go check it out as well. Of course, that's when Seth Rollins allowed Bronson Reed to get the microphone. And Bronson Reed finally brought up of how he tsunami'd Seth Rollins over and over and over again just to be a part of his group. I was like, okay, that makes no sense. Of course, you guys, before Bron Breakker was going to have his match, Sami Zayn would get attacked by Karrion Kross. But before I go to that, you guys, Bron Breakker, you can tell that Bron Breakker definitely wanted to snap away from this group. He did it last week on Raw. He did it last night on Raw as well. Me recording this video at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday, you guys. So this is definitely gonna be interesting here. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on him. Seth Rollins portraying, what's his face. But of course, Karrion Kross would get cheered by the crowd, and they was like, we want Kross, we want Kross. And I'm telling you guys, when talent aren't used and they're speaking the truth, I mean, you have to listen, and I guarantee you Triple H need to listen. Like, he listened to everything else about like Jey Uso and all that other stuff or whatever, but he doesn't listen when it comes to Karrion Kross. He even brought this man back into the company after Vince McMahon had freaking downed him a lot. But of course, Sami Zayn, he still tried to fight through the match where, he wanted his match against Bron Breakker, and, his ribs were still taped all up from when Bronson Reed tsunami'd him like a couple weeks back. And, of course, Bron Breakker hit freaking 3 spears. Sami Zayn jumped from the top rope, caught a spear. I was like, God dang. Bron Breakker ran around the ring, bam, caught another spear. I was like, goodness, Sammy. I was like, Sammy is, Sammy can take some bumps, you guys, for the selling purposes of it. But just imagine, you guys, like how much Sammy has some bad rib injuries. And I'm like, geez. And then he get hit with another spear, you guys, when Bron Breakker bounced out one rope, bounced out the other rope, come back, and kabam, knock him out once again. And, of course, Bron Breakker did pin Sami Zayn. And, of course, Karrion Kross definitely want him to admit that he was, pretty much overall said he wanted, to, just have Sami Zayn to tell the truth. But anyways, of course, you guys, Paul Heyman would come back there, and you see Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins pretty much talking amongst each other, and, they were like, he was wondering how Karrion Kross just came out there and, beat what's-his-face down and, of course, picked up the scraps. But Seth Rollins was like, nah, man, nah. And, yeah, Bron Breakker definitely breaking away from that group. I'll give it until SummerSlam for that to happen, where Seth tries to cash in. Bronson Reed had his match against Jey Uso, and the match was just really stupid, I would have to say. Bron Breakker match was more entertaining than Bronson Reed's match against Jey Uso. Jey Uso did get, a great crowd reaction up in Providence, Rhode Island last night as well, you guys. And crowd was eating with him. Jey actually has a new attire. He actually wears shorts now. And that was actually pretty cool. The main event, we did get Penta versus Seth Rollins. So each member of the group with Seth Rollins had a match against somebody. So of course, when Penta came out, for some reason the camera was like showing at the top of the thing. I was like, wait, what in the world going on? I thought it was something wrong with my screen. So I was like, okay, because I actually started watching it on my phone later that night, you guys. Oh, and of course, Seth Rollins would curb stomp Penta, you guys, and just pretty much overall, you know, almost about to get tsunamied on, and also get speared as well. You can see Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed did come out there when Seth Rollins called him in there. LA Knight would come up and hit a blood force trauma BFT to actually knock out Seth Rollins. And of course, you seen like it was so freaking funny when Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed came up in there. Braun Breaker ran up there like he's about to fall over the barricade, you guys. And I was like, oh God, but that was funny. They did also just want to continue to talk about Raw. Some other things I haven't mentioned yet, you guys, is where we ended up seeing a thing where they did with the Judgment Day. They put like a little thing back there, like the memory of Liv Morgan, like she passed away or something. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. But of course, you guys, we did get Roxanne Perez versus Kairi Sane, and backstage, Roxanne Perez said she was gonna overall beat Kairi Sane, of course, but she ended up losing. And the Pirate Princess, you guys, Kairi Sane, did pick up that victory over Roxanne Perez. I was like, God dang. I was like, the way they're booking this is very crazy, you guys. And of course, we did get where we got no one is ready for the lady that came to save Kairi Sane, and that is Asuka. She came out there, you guys. I like how she is right now compared to how she was before, when she was on TV like a year or two ago. And I definitely like how she actually does like this whole dancing, like, and she has some whole gruesome kicks. Like when she kicks you, it's like very crazy, you guys, and I like that. So of course, you guys, Kairi Sane and Asuka did go back there and say they want to be put in a women's fatal four match. They did do that, and I thought they were, yeah, and here it is right here. And that's when Adam Pearce like what about we reunite the Kabuki Warriors? And then here Asuka, yeah, Kabuki Warriors. Yeah, it was just so funny, you guys. But and then AJ Styles, was telling Finn Balor, hey, thank you for the cake. And then he was like, get well soon, AJ. And then AJ popped from behind the little box where they had their stuff set up and putting his fingers in his eyes and was like, I'm watching you. And then that's when Dominic Mysterio pulled up the doctor's note off the desk there. It was like, AJ, I got a doctor's note, you can't touch me. I was like, man, come on. I was like, you got to make this match official. So I wonder when they're going to do it, you guys. Hopefully it won't be all the way into SummerSlam. During the commercial break, you did get where the New Day, the Old Day, did come out there with some flowers, whatever, and saying how, there's no tag team division on Raw, but it definitely went on SmackDown. So I think New Day need to go like to SmackDown or something like that, or bring some of those teams from SmackDown over to Raw, because they're jam-packed on SmackDown, but I still like it how they're doing it on SmackDown. So just keep it the way it is. Of course, you guys, they did mention that Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch versus Bayley for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. They did have a segment last night as well. As you previously seen, you did see Nikki Bella. She's going to be in a Women's Battle Royal. It's going to be a big Battle Royal. Winner is going to face the Women's World Champion, either if it's Rhea or if it's, Io Sky. But of course, you guys, we did get right here where they were all in this little segment, as I mentioned before. Lyra Valkyria did drop Bayley, and she also dropped Becky Lynch as well. I was like, Lyra ain't gonna win this match, you guys. But you can tell Bayley is like very comedic and everything, and you can see where Lyra Valkyria was holding up the arm of Becky. He was like, this is the last time your arm is gonna be raised. So in my opinion, I really feel like Bayley should and will win the championship. Now, we did get a Grande Americano, you guys. He was, pretty much for a second there, I couldn't tell if it was like, who it was. like, last week we seen how it was Liquid Kaiser, but then again, you guys, it seems like this person is kind of different. And, they didn't, say, gracias or anything like that. They just throw up the two fingers and don't say nothing. But the way, like, we don't know if Kaiser, like, cut his hair, but you could tell the same way that Chad Gable used to put that little metal plate under his mask. But y'all see, he's like different people. So, of course, you guys, we did get Stephanie Vaquer, which I think she's going to be the winner of that Women's Battle Royal. I definitely think that she's gonna go on to win. Of course, you guys, tonight actually on NXT, which I watch NXT faithfully, you guys. Just to let you guys know that she's gonna make an announcement of some participants who's gonna be in there, of course, from NXT. But like I said, I really have Stephanie going 1-on-1 either with Rhea or Io Sky come Clash of Paris. So with that being said, you guys, we did get a segment where Goldberg ended up pulling up his car. You just heard, when he got out of his car and that song hit, and then WWE ended up putting in some piped in Goldberg chants or whatever, because the crowd, wasn't really into it for real. But they were, but not fully like they was with Jay. Now, of course, you guys, Goldberg, could this be his last match? Could he actually, win the world title again? Or could WWE just actually, let Goldberg ride off into the sunset and all that good stuff, you guys? Show pretty much was a pretty decent show. I would have to give it an 8 out of 10. Till next time, you guys, Chris Wrestling Views out. I should be back here later on tonight, you guys, with my WWE NXT review. Of course, the go home show for Great American Bash, and of course, Raw was the go home show for Saturday night's main event. And of course, also Women's Evolution. Till next time, you guys, Chris Wrestling Views out, and I'll see you guys later.